Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio with Preston, the Sports Cheetah. We're going to talk about contest strategies. And here in Vegas each and every year, there are a ton of contests, Preston, that you can join. The most famous and notable one, of course, is at the Westgate, the Super Contest. Everybody knows about that one and the big prize pool that they generate there. The Golden Nugget has a nice contest. It's grown over the years. And for the local casinos, most of them have some form to get people in. A lot of them have where you just have to pick the winner of the contest, pick the whole, NFL card and stuff. And I can tell you, you would think that being what we do for a living, just picking the winner without the point spreads, that should be. I absolutely suck at those ones because my whole mind is geared to point spreads. I can't flip gears and just pick the winners. I never do well in those. But on the flip side to that, our buddy Brian Leonard has done very well in those at some of the various casinos. But let's talk about the big ones, the Super Contest. And the first thing that I'll throw to you is contest strategies. It's part handicapping and it's part game theory. And we'll talk about that, and it's become more and more game theory than actual handicapping, in my opinion, with the way some of the contests are structured.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for most people, when they do these contests, they just pick 5 games that they like, and that's that. They don't really put too much into it. I would say the first rule of thumb, if you want to have an edge over a good portion of the field, whether it's a Super Contest or a lot of people just do contests with friends and family, maybe just 20 people or 100 people. There's a Twitter one that I've done a couple times. The first thing is to follow the line moves throughout the week. I mean, we're doing it anyways all the time before games are, Saturday or Sunday or whatever it may be. But a lot of these contest lines lock on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and so you'll get a team, say, +7, and a contest line that's 6 come, Saturday before you need to turn in your entries the day before, a slate of football games on Sunday. So you're getting a point of an edge there. And, if you're just strictly blindly betting, that type of movement, then you're going to be coming out just slightly better than the people that are just flipping coins. So that's one edge that you can have, and you need to be following throughout. If you have other games that you like a lot, like you have, conviction, like actually it probably hurts. I know a lot of people that just kind of blindly bet the moves at the last second possible. I've heard of people that do that at least, and it gets them in the running. I'm actually a little more stubborn. Like I want my games that I like, and that's that. But if there's like the Nugget contest for college football, for example, they were doing college football totals, which sometimes would move like 5 points. Like you have to take a 5-point edge there on a total, so you'd have to use it as one of your selections. But be smart about it. But if also you're doing these for fun, the money part's great if you win. But if you really like the Dolphins and you're a Dolphins fan and you want to bet them that week, then do it. I think that's fine too. Sometimes people take it a little too seriously. But I would say my 2 things: 1, watch the moves throughout the week, and then the 2, which I haven't gotten into yet, and this will kind of wrap up my 2 main points. I don't look at when I'm handicapping public betting percentages, like how many people are betting this side versus another. Public wins sometimes too, and I'm fine being on a public side if I think it's the right side. So I don't even look at them, to be completely honest. But in a contest type format, when there are a bunch of people in a huge field, like the Super Contest, and you check a site that says 70% of the people are on this side, only 30% on this side, and you were kind of just either you were going to pass on the game, or maybe you liked the side that was 30%, but you were looking at a couple other games as that 5th spot on a lineup. Well, that's a great spot to then go with the 30% team when the majority of the people in your contest are probably picking the other side. And so if it does win, not only are you getting a point, but it's another point that they can't get because they used the other side. And it goes for like a local contest with friends and family. If you live in Pittsburgh, a lot of people probably are going to be picking the Steelers or whatever. Right. Play the other side if you think that it's a good spot to do so. So those are kind of my 2 main.
Well, that comes into game theory, and I think that when let's say you're late in the season and you're in the running, you're in the top 10, whatever, you're going to want to make sure that part of the strategy becomes, I want to take the value lines for sure, because 1, I'm getting value to start with. 2, I know that everybody else that's sharp is also going to have those plays. So you're not going to win or lose ground, because remember, if you're in the lead, they got to make up ground on you. So it's game theory says that you should stay with those plays. But if you're behind, then you definitely want to go the opposite of where you know everybody's going to be, because you've got to make up the ground. If you take those same games, if it wins, they're winning too, and you're running out of time. It's like a horse race. You're getting to the finish line, you run out of racetrack. So again, that's where game theory comes in, and I'm kind of torn on them. As computerized as everything is, the Golden Nugget last year changed their format. The year before and every year prior, it was Friday at noon. They locked the lines and you put your plays in. The lines were locked at what they were right then, and that's when you had to put their plays in. Well, when they expanded the field to get more people in it, the logistics just didn't have that, so they moved it, where the lines were available on Thursday. And like you said, the college totals, which they made available, were moving, and most of them get hit on
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wednesdays and Thursdays, and people, were putting the plays in. If you didn't have a play on Thursday, you didn't have to put your play in until Friday. So you got, 48 hours of line movement there when they're really hitting, and a lot of people were using that to their advantage. So look at how the structure is. If it's using live lines and they're locked for everybody, and and they're not 2 days, 48 hours stale, rely more on handicapping than game theory.
Yeah, definitely. There's some contests that'll refresh the lines, every day or something, and those are actually probably my favorite as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's more.
If it's a handicapping contest, then that's what it should be.
Let's see the people that move the lines, what they're on, and then just
because in the NFL, almost every week there's at least one game where somebody's questionable key on Wednesday.
That too. Yeah,
and
injuries,
then they end up making a guess on the line, and there's been weeks that the line was 3 points off.
Yep.
And 85% of the people in the contest had that play, which makes me go, what were the other 15% of the people doing? So I hope these things help you out with game theory versus actual handicapping on these contests. And guys, hey, if you're new to WagerTalk, after your first purchase of $12 or more, we're going to give you a $50 sign-up bonus. Just email support@WagerTalk and put your username in there, and within 24 hours, your account will have $50 added to it. You can spend it any way you like at WagerTalk. It's just our way of saying thank you for joining the WagerTalk family. That's it for this week. With the videos, guys, we're going to take 2 weeks off. We've got the 4th of July weekend coming up, and then the All-Star break the following week. So we're going to take 2 weeks off. We'll be back in 2 weeks as we go nonstop college and pro football and wind down the baseball season. So be sure to join us in 2 weeks here at WagerTalk.com.